The spooky, scary skeletons send shivers down your spine. Oh, hi there. Welcome back to the channel, Book Dragons. I'm so glad you're here with me today. I was recently tagged in the Spooky, Scary Skeletons book tag by Nicole from Nicole's Bookish Nook. And she is also the creator of this tag. So shout out to her for creating such an awesome tag. I'm really excited to do it. And I think you're just all going to get chills watching me do this tag. Well, not necessarily, but if you do, I wouldn't be shocked because, it's spooky month. This is a spooky tag. I mean, come on, And maybe you could fake having the shivers, just to play along. So we're gonna go ahead and get right to this tag, and my lovely spooky cat Ari has joined us today. So, well, she's not spooky, she's just cuddly, but So I'm gonna put my eyes on here while we do this tag, and the first prompt says, "Witchy Mayhem. Name a book you loved or hated about witches." And for that one, I chose Stardust by Neil Gaiman. I love this book. There's hardly a book of Neil Gaiman's that I would not say is a favorite of mine, but Stardust is definitely a favorite, and there are witches in it, and the witches essentially want to find a fallen star that has just crashed to the earth so that they can restore their youthful vitality and live for eons more years than they already have, and it's just, it's so much fun. Such a great book. I highly recommend it, okay? Moving on to prompt number 2. That is The Pumpkin King, a fiction book about a spooky main character. For this one, I chose The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor LaValle. This is a retelling of The Horror at Red Hook by H.P. Lovecraft. And I've talked about it before, but the main character, Charles Thomas Tester, is a black street musician in Harlem, and in order to care for his ailing father, he seeks out unusual sources of making a living and ends up working for the old ones of Lovecraftian mythology. And the result is that he goes down a very, very dark, evil, magical path. It is just so atmospheric and tense. I mean, it'll have you on the edge of your seat. The things that happen in that little novella, oh man, I tell you, such a good book. All right, the next one, Orange Fever. A book with the word orange in the title, or a book with an orange cover. So I didn't have a book with the word orange in the title, so I went with an orange cover. And that is not a spooky book, but it is The Martian by Andy Weir. This is a great, realistic sci-fi story about a guy who gets stranded on Mars and has to learn to live there until he might get rescued. And it's just an awesome book. The movie is awesome as well, but it does have an orange cover, so I went with that. Prompt number 4, Ghouls and Ghosts. A book you love about ghouls or ghosts. And that would be Grave Peril by Jim Butcher. This is the third book in the Dresden Files series. Harry has to track down a nightmare that is wreaking havoc in his city, and it turns out to be the ghost of a malevolent sorcerer. It's just so much fun. I love that book so much, and that's my answer. The next prompt is Horrible Horrors. Your least favorite horror, thriller, or mystery book. And that would be The Haunting at Hill House. That book was so underwhelming for me, guys. And probably part of it was due to the fact that I had seen the Netflix TV show prior to reading the book. And of course, it's a very loose adaptation when they brought it to Netflix. So I think I went in with unrealistic expectations. But it just wasn't really that scary to me, and it wasn't really that entertaining either. So, yeah, I didn't care for The Haunting of Hill House. And I know that may be a sin to say on BookTube, because that book has a lot of fans, and I respect that. I totally do. The next prompt on this list is Gothic Wonders, a favorite Gothic-themed book you've read in the past 5 years. And this would be Bram Stoker's Dracula. I just read Dracula for the first time last year, and I absolutely loved it, guys. It is one of my favorite books of all time. I mean, there's a long list of favorite books of all time, right? So it's way down the list, but it's still one of my favorite books, and one that I would love to reread at some point. So yeah, great story by Bram Stoker. The next prompt says Magic and Potions, a fiction or nonfiction book about magic and potions. And that would be The Chamber of Secrets, book 2 in the Harry Potter series. And this is the book that features the debut of the Polyjuice potion that is used to make your face change to that of someone else's. And Harry and Ron use that for their own ulterior motives. I love this book so much. I love the entire series, but this book in particular is the one that features potions and magic. But I mean, doesn't every fantasy book feature some kind of magic? Or for the most part at least. Maybe not all do. But I mean, yeah, so I went with one that had potions. The next one is Black Cats, a book about cats, or a book with a cat as a side character, or the main character. And that would be Coraline by Neil Gaiman. And it even features a black cat. You can see the cat there. So it's even a black cat in the story. And the black cat is a friend of Coraline's that resides in both the real world and the other world where her other parents live. It's a really great little story. I highly recommend it to anybody to read. That's my pick for this one. Set that there. The final question is Spooky Scary Skeleton, a book that sent shivers down your spine. And for this one, I actually picked 2. The first one is Red Dragon by Thomas Harris. This is the first book to feature Hannibal Lecter, the character that you probably all know from the Silence of the Lambs movie and other movies that have been made about the character, but this is the first of the original books where the character made his debut, and it features a serial killer who goes under the moniker of the Red Dragon. And wow, guys, this book is just nightmarish. I mean, it really is. You know, it's nightmarish in a good way, and it definitely sent shivers down my spine. The other one is Cunning Folk by Adam Neville. I recently read this towards the beginning of this year, I think it was. It was one of my patron picks for this year, and it's such a good book, guys. It's about a couple who move into this old fixer-upper out in the country. They're wanting to start their lives over, and their next-door neighbors are just doing all these weird and creepy things, and there seem to be spirits that they don't want the newcomers to disturb in this town, and a whole bunch of just really wily stuff goes down, guys. I would definitely recommend giving it a read and seeing if it's for you. That's the end of the tag. That is the last question. Now I've got to tag a few people. So I'm going to tag Alyssa over at Into the Heart Wild, because I think she would really enjoy doing this tag. I'm going to tag Danielle over at Bookcara, because I was actually talking to her about this one the other day. So I'm just going to go ahead and tag her in it so she has it officially and she can do it. And I'll also tag Paige over at Pages with Paige, because she was in that same discussion with Danielle, and so I'm just going to go ahead and tag her as well. That way both of you have it, and you can do it, and maybe you can make it a group effort in your next get-together with Bookstar read-alongs. If you're watching this and you would also like to do this tag, I tag you as well. Feel free. It's a really awesome tag. You should really check out Nicole's Bookish Nook. As I said before, she's the creator of this tag, and she's just an awesome person with an awesome channel, so have at it, guys. Until next time, Make sure you are reading more books. I will talk with you then. Boo!